How's it going, everybody? My name is Sinikle, and welcome back to more The Song of Saya, or Saya no Uta. So, last episode, we left off of quite a big situation. Koji is still alive. The doctor, or maybe she's not really a doctor, who knows at this point, showed up to save him because, luckily enough, he called her, left a voicemail. And, yeah, they got to talking a little bit. And I think Koji is about to leave, maybe? But we'll see. In hopes to save Yo, but she's dead. She's dead, man. Well, okay, no, she's not dead, but, well, I guess she is dead in a sense. Like, her will, what makes her basically human, is dead. You know what I mean? Go watch and find out. Anywho, that was a wild time. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue from where we last left off. Load it up, baby. When he steps out of the cabin's front door, Koji shivers as the wind tears into his skin. Bro, the winter and the wind? Bruh. Oh. It hurts. Man, it's brutal. To his surprise, the outside air is even colder than the mud at the bottom of the well. Perhaps the cramped space mitigated the cold somewhat. If he had been exposed to this chill all night long, he would surely have frozen to death. I guess it makes sense. Maybe. Koji finds two cars parked in the yard. The smaller car next to his must be Ryoko's. When he sits behind the wheel of his car, he gets some relief from the feeling that he has taken the first step, however small, back into his world. He sips the sports drink, wetting his parched throat, then washes down some jelly. His stomach rebels at the sudden influx of food after 36 hours on empty. Holy shit. But he manages to force down the urge to vomit. Koji needs the energy, no matter how hard it is. He must regain enough stamina to overcome the challenges ahead. Yeah, he has a gun now too, so what's he gonna do with that, I wonder? After forcing down as much food as he can handle, Koji leans back in his seat and takes a short break. When he begins to feel like himself again, he reaches into the back seat and pulls his spare cell phone out of his bag. What the fuck? Okay, hold up. This motherfucker, for some reason, has a spare cell phone. Only reason you'd ever have a spare cell phone. You are a druggie. And you have that phone specifically to call for drugs or make sales of drugs. Number two. Reason number two, you a cheating ass hoe. And that spare cell phone, the second one, is specifically only for the lady that you smitten and loving besides your other significant other. Anyways. And blah, blah, blah. Okay. He never expected that carrying two phones would be such a stroke of luck. Sure. Or, I guess, third option, maybe you're a weird psychopath who, for some reason, thinks you need two cell phones. I don't know. Hey, if you're one of those people, and you some reason have a second cell phone that you bring everywhere with you, give me a reason why you have it, man. Besides my other two options that I've clearly just given earlier. Huh? Right? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. As he calls out Fuminori's number and prepares to hit send, Koji is overcome by a flood of emotion. Rage, despair, sorrow, pity. He is unable to decide what to feel towards his friend. However, there is no time to dwell on the past. Another typo. Perfect! Every second lost diminishes the chance of saving Omi and Yo. Koji refuses to consider that it may already be too late. He steels himself and presses the button, then holds the phone to his ear as it rings. The shrill sound seems to go on for longer than it ever has in his life. Right now, Fuminori's phone must be displaying the name of the caller. Koji wonders what his reaction will be when he sees it. So hold up, even your friend knows about the second phone number? This is not a normal thing, is it, in Japan? Or something? Like, does everyone in Japan have, like, a spare cell phone in case their main cell phone, like, breaks or gets stolen or something? Is that a thing? I don't think it's a thing. I hit my mic. Whoops. Gotta push it back a little bit, or else I'm gonna keep hitting it when I'm readjusting in my seat. A little bit more there. Perfect. Okay. The call goes through. In the silence on the other end of the phone, Koji senses surprise, apprehension, and dark fury. Feeling slightly gratified. That's a weird word. Okay. Gratified, Koji delivers the first jab. What? Weren't expecting a call from a dead man? I'm surprised. How did you manage it? As Koji is about to answer, an idea suddenly comes to him. There was a secret passage in the well, Koji says, a plan forming rapidly in his mind. It led to a hidden underground lab. He pauses to let that sink in. Ho, clever boy. Then, with satisfaction filling his voice, he says, I met Ogwai Masahiko. I mean, technically, not a lie. Just not, he just didn't say that he was alive or dead, you know? He told the truth. Fuminori's gasp tells Koji that the advantage is his. Keeping his voice bold, he decides to further exaggerate the truth. Yeah. I know it all, everything about Saya. You are finished, Fuminori. I've got all the proof I need to blow this thing wide open. You won't even see it coming. You son of a bitch. So stupid. Yes! Oh. Okay, sorry. It's obvious from Fuminori's tone that rage has overwhelmed his reason. Koji's bluff is working perfectly. His victory is tainted, however, as Fuminori's response to the name Saya brings a cry of anguish from the corner of his heart that still wants to believe his friend can be saved. Mouse, hello? There we go. If Sakisaka is involved with whatever Saya is, Ryoko's words play back in his mind, sounding even colder than before. Mouse, please! Ah! It's dying! No! Then he's already past the point of no return. He mustn't allow emotion to sway him. Where are Omi and Yo? Koji suddenly switches topics, trying to keep Fuminori off balance. It all comes down to this. Oh, is he gonna say it? Is he gonna say it? Depending on your answer, I might be willing to cut you a deal. Question mark. If you swear not to cause any more harm, I'll forget about what you did to me and about what I found at the cabin. I don't want anything more to do with you and Saya anyway. All I want is for Omi and Yo to be safe. Well, about that. He ate one of them. And the second one, well, that's a topic I'm not going to touch. Omi and Yo. Fuminori's voice trails off. He's obviously trying to decide how far Koji can be trusted, and whether there's room for negotiation. Fuminori has been called out, and now it's time for him to show his hand. I honestly don't know anything about Omi. She never came by my house. Yo, on the other hand... Wait. Either he actually doesn't know, or Saya told him at some point and now he's lying. But I highly doubt that. So I actually do believe that he doesn't know still about him eating Omi. That's stupid of him. Because what he just witnessed that Saya can do, I'm surprised that he didn't put 2 and 2 together. Or again, maybe he did and he's lying. I hope that gets revealed. I hope so, because that would be a big revelation if he suddenly he didn't know and he gets found out and oh, you cannibalistic fuck. Anyways. Fuminori pauses, then gives a knowing chuckle that sends chills up Koji's... Oh my god. You sick fuck. Well, I wonder if she'll really want to leave. God, he's a horrible fucking piece of shit. She's with you, isn't she? Koji is relieved to learn Yo's location, and that she is at least still alive. At the same time, however, he remembers that horrifying phone call. It is clear now that Fuminori played some part in Yo's suffering. Had she already fallen into his trap back then? Well, not his in particular, but... Anyway. What has happened to her? How is she being treated? Her wish has finally come true, Fuminori says with venomous sarcasm. Oh, God. Why did you have to word it like that, man? She's my property now. I guess you and Omi got what you wanted after all. You know what? Since he's such an asshole, I'm going to give him an asshole tone. Right? Koji feels despair settle over his soul. How much lower will this man go? Must Fuminori seek out and destroy every memory of the friendship they once shared? Wait. Hold up. Well, I don't exactly remember, but no. It was revealed earlier, yeah. Fuminori does kind of understand how the voices he's hearing kind of translates to, right? Because in his mind, everyone else sounds like, you know, monsters and they don't actually speak English, kind of, sort of. But he was getting used to it and how they actually are speaking, right? I don't know. It was barely touched upon. I don't remember how exactly it works. But yeah, it's like he's perfectly having a normal conversation, you know? A little jarring. Anyways. Let's go. When I'm sure she's safe, I'll destroy everything I have on you and Saya. How can I trust you? First, I want you to... Oh, sorry, I was supposed to use his asshole voice. I'll try it again. How can I trust you? First, I want you to... I'm not giving you a choice here, Fuminori. Koji instinctively realizes that it's dangerous to push his bluff any further. I'll call again later. You have until then to make up your mind. He hangs up without waiting for a response. Good. Make it seem like he has no choice in the matter. Yeah! What you gonna do now, bitch? What you gonna do now? Okay. Fuminori doesn't know that Koji is still at the cabin in Tochigi. Right now, he's probably worrying about whether Koji will show up in 1 hour or 1 minute. Koji hopes that he'll be able to take advantage of Fuminori's confusion. Hell yeah. 3 hours, that's how long it will take to race all the way back to Tokyo. Koji is afraid that his body can't carry him through such a long drive. His mind is clear, but his limbs still feel half asleep, like they are weighted down with lead. Although he knows that he has to stay resolute, Koji still longs for the peace he had just a few days ago, when life or death struggles were the furthest thing from his mind. Imagine that. Back then, he could have never imagined himself fighting to rescue a friend from the clutches of a madman who used to be a friend himself. With each passing moment, he feels himself becoming less like the person he was. When all of this is over, will he be able to return to his old life? Or will this change continue until it has consumed him entirely? Time is against him. Every second that passes is wasted. Even so, he decides to allow himself just 5 minutes of weakness. For exactly 5 minutes, he leans against the steering wheel and cries. And when his tears have run dry, his heart is calm. Koji starts up the car and drives away. Oh, okay. Just like that. Alright. Oh, we're back in this piece of shit's perspective. Oh, great. Just great. I stare off at the silent phone in my hand. There is anger, of course, but something cold and heavy holds my emotions in check. The sense of danger. To be honest, I'm surprised at how calm I am. You can talk? I thought her will was broken down so much that she couldn't speak. Yo looks up at me apprehensively. Her head between my thighs. Oh my god. She was attending to me throughout the call. Oh my god. Well. Alright. The remaining fragments of her memory seem to have joined together, as she has regained some degree of speech. Upon realizing this last night, Saya began to teach her language once more. I assume she finds our pet's efforts amusing. So it's not that she... Hold on, okay. So it's not that she reconstructed her body and broke down her will. I think she reconstructed her body to the point where her body was a full-grown adult, but her mind was like at the learning phase of a child. Like they needed to relearn how to speak and such. I don't know. It's so weird. Like, how does that even work? I mean, obviously this is not real life. Duh! But yeah, that's... Huh. Okay. So she's still trying to learn how to speak. She hasn't completed her speaking thing yet. No, okay. Alright. Don't be mad, yo will try harder. The pleasure from her ministrations threatens to impede my thoughts, and besides, my arousal has already vanished. At first, I consider making her stop. When I gaze into her puppy dog eyes, however, I begin to think differently. Thanks to Saya, I have a family once again. For the first time, I am becoming aware of the responsibility that places on me. I am now the head of the new Sakisaka household, as well as its only male member. It is my duty to protect, comfort, and ensure the happiness of women living under my roof. With that in mind, I know that I mustn't show fear or confusion. That would only cause them distress. Continue. Yes, master. I entrust myself to Yo's eager touch, basking in the pleasure with one part of my mind, while contemplating our current predicament with the other. It is clear that I made a grave error when I failed to finish Koji off 2 days ago. Right now, I need to set my frustration and anger aside, and deal with this problem logically. It's time to leave. I have no way of knowing when Koji escaped from that well, or how much he has learned, or how many people he has had contact with since then. Now that it is impossible, to know how far the problem has spread, merely disposing of Koji won't guarantee our safety. When the enemy has poisoned your water supply, you can't take the risk that even one drop might remain. Your only choice is to stop drinking the water. Fuminori, who are you talking to? Saya returns from the kitchen, where she'd gone in search of a midnight snack. She's munching on her favorite, spare ribs. Purging myself of unease and impatience, I respond with a casual shrug. It looks like we have a little problem. That bastard Koji is still alive. Oh dear. By breaking the news suddenly and without any trace of anxiety, I am able to avoid frightening Saya. Instead, she is merely surprised. I knew that remaining calm would work. Moreover, I'm currently being pleasured by Yo. It would be hard for anyone to get too serious under these circumstances. Saya, it might be best if we leave this house. Saya lowers her eyes and strokes her chin thoughtfully. This was bound to happen sooner or later, even without Koji. It's only a matter of time before someone reports the Suzumi family missing. Yeah, Saya nods. I can tell that she's reluctant to leave, but at least there is no sadness in her expression. Everything will be fine. I will protect my life with Saya, just as I have up until now. I have that power. Jesus Christ, he's talking like he's God. What the fuck? He's talking as if he has powers. You don't have powers, bitch. I mean, she technically does, I guess. But it's her, not you. Ugh. Get the fuck over yourself. Jesus. Knowing that we've overcome one problem fills me with new confidence. Now then, we'd better get ready. Okay. We can travel light and take the Suzumi family car. Okay, you know what? Whatever. I'd better withdraw everything that's left in my bank account and carry it as cash. I'll also need a weapon. Something more reliable than a butcher's knife. Koji will most likely follow. He thinks that Yo can still be saved. However, I'm not abandoning this house just to run away. As long as Koji knows our location, we are stuck on the defensive. Leaving gives me the chance to regain the initiative and deal with him at a place of my choosing. Next time we meet, I'll kill him with my own 2 hands. I'll make sure to wring every last drop of life out of his body. A shiver runs through me as I anticipate the battle ahead, and my bloodlust burns with orgasmic fire. Jesus Christ. That's what makes you burst the thoughts of battle and wringing out every last life of Koji's body. It's not her giving you head, it's that. Okay. I mean, I guess that's contributing, but still. This motherfucker has problems. He has issues. Right now we're in the perspective of Ryoko. Yippee! Alright. Hello, Kitty. Okay, Kitty, go bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. When Ryoko looks up, the morning sun is already streaming in through the window. Tired from hours of poring over files, she removes her glasses and massages her aching eyes. Arcing. Her dreams are always filled with horror. Yet the night she just spent was more nightmarish than them all. And it's not over yet. She has only just set foot on the threshold. As expected, the files left by Ogwai Masahiko were not the sort that Ryoko could simply pick up and read. Fortunately, Ogwai had been too old-fashioned to put his trust in electronic media. If he'd encrypted his files on a computer, she'd have had a hard time and need to find a hacker to decipher them. In fact, he had not employed any kind of code in his writing. That would have been too time-consuming by hand. The method of... what's this word? Obfuscation? Okay. The method of obfuscation he did use was quite simple. Of the files Ryoko pulled from his underground lab, the majority turned out to be notes of these... The majority turned out to be notes and theses from... another misspell, okay. And theses from Ogwai's days as a student. The important papers were the diaries and research notes that had been scattered throughout the piles of worthless scrap. At first, she was unable to understand the documents that she had found. Each sheet was covered with text on one side and blank on the other. Each line was completely unrelated to the text. To the next. Misspelling letters! Okay. Making it impossible to glean any meaning from the whole. The trick revealed itself, however, while she was sorting the pages that made no sense. She found that each line continued on the same line of the different page. Ooh. Decipher that bitch. In Ogwai's diary, for example, the first day began on the first line, then continued not with the next line, but with the first line on the next page. That's annoying as fuck. But I guess it's effective. Similarly, the second day was with the second page, or second line. The third day was with the third line. Okay, yeah, we get it. And so on and so forth. After filing through all the lines on one set of pages, Ogwai had torn them out and scattered them among his other files. Jesus. There was no regularity to how the pages were numbered, of course, unable to locate any sort of key or legend. Ryoko had no choice but to figure out the page order manually. Oh, that must have been a pain in the ass! Despite knowing that the task would be exhausting. Ryoko set to it valiantly. After separating all the loose-leaf sheets from the jumbled files, she began the painstaking process of linking pages together according to the contents of their first line. She found that Ogwai had dismantled and scattered his diary each time he completed a number of days, equal to the lines of one page, and had done the same with his research notes every 30 pages or so. The diary was much easier to restore because the entries varied in length. Later pages had a larger number of blank lines. The page with only one line, therefore, was the last page of the diary, and those with the most blank spaces could be considered closer to the end. Guess that makes sense. Ryoko's perseverance has paid off, for she has already succeeded in restoring several volumes of Ogwai's diary. As she reads them, she feels despair draining her spirit, as it has so many times before. This cursed feeling of powerlessness that comes with knowing hidden truths. Those who have tasted it once shall be beaten down by it again and again until the day they die. All secrets are connected after all. Once you have glimpsed even the tiniest fraction of the world's true face, you have no choice but to watch in horror as the veil rolls itself back, inch by inch. All that remains is to wait for the day when insanity will crush your reason under its ever-mounting weight. I have succeeded in communicating with the organism. It shows enormous curiosity, and its intelligence is beyond a doubt. See research notes for confirmed vocal patterns and body language. Its appetite for knowledge is insatiable, and its learning speed is off the charts. However, it exhibits absolutely no desire to be recognized as an individual. Huh? Its ego appears to be quite weak, suggesting a psyche wholly unlike that of a human. The speed of the organism's linguistic development is astounding. When I laughed at its mispronunciations, it immediately picked up the concept of puns. Ever since, it has been employing its entire vocabulary in an attempt to find puns that will make me laugh. Perhaps in a few days' time, it will have learned enough language for us to communicate freely. The organism's command of spoken language is now sufficient to facilitate higher-level discourse. But although it has regaled me with questions all day, it remains unable to answer any of mine. Its reply suggests that it gained awareness only after materializing in this universe. It has no knowledge of where it came from. While I am disappointed, the fact that it has reached this level of intelligence only 1 week after starting, to think tells me that there is no end to what I can learn from it. Hypothesis: it is not a naturally occurring organism, but was created by an even more sophisticated sentient life form. This would explain why it has no ego, yet possesses such a hunger for knowledge. It might be some sort of reconnaissance drone that was sent here from another world. Okay. I mean, it's not demons or anything, but it's still Okay, basically aliens. Maybe not even that. Maybe it's the simplest, purest form of otherworldly. You know what I mean? Alright. Ryoko smiles humorously at the umpteenth time since she started reading. How wonderful it would be if she could laugh the diary off as the delusions of a madman or the work of a science fiction author. Alas, she knows far too much. When she thinks back to the many horrors that Ogwai brought into her life, the words before her take on chilling credibility. Wait, what? So she knows of Oh, so this is not the first time Ogwai has fucked around with an organism? How many? Who is this person? What are they? I have confirmed that the organism's brain power far surpasses any human's. This morning I taught it about prime numbers. After I explained the Lucas-Lemmer test for Racine primes, it immediately began to list examples that it had calculated in its head. I was only able to confirm by memory up to number 10, M89, but it continued to list further examples without any trouble. I left it to its calculations, and when I returned a few hours later, I discovered that it had written down more than 70 of them. Holy shit. Computers all over the world are currently working to calculate Racine primes, but the last one I remembered being found was the 39th, back in 2001. When I entered several of the results into my laptop and ran the Lucas-Lemmer test on them, I found that every one was correct. The same is no doubt true for the rest. After all, the organism has never shown the pathological need for respect that would lead it to lie about its accomplishments. I see no reason to doubt its veracity. If I could reveal to the world an expedient method for discovering Racine primes, the prize money would make me a billionaire. Of course, my current research is worth far more than any sum of money. I must keep it a secret. The organism's computual speed exceeds that of even the most powerful supercomputers. I can only conclude that its cognitive faculties are beyond anything humanity can imagine. At the organism's request, we have begun a new field of study. Despite its immeasurable aptitude for mathematics, it now desires to concentrate on sociology and the natural sciences. Perhaps our math problems are simply too elementary for it. My God. It has shown especially keen interest in the means by which organisms reproduce and multiply, as it possesses nothing that could be called emotion. I hesitate to use this description, but when it learned about DNA, it seemed somehow excited. In fact, the organism itself seemed surprised by its reaction. When asked about the nature of the impulse, the organism decided to label it instinct. If this description is indeed accurate, then this is an extremely significant development. So it is interested in reproduction. That's what I thought. It would mean that there is a deeper level to its psyche than just the knowledge it has acquired since coming to this world. If I can use this discovery to trace its roots, I might be able to learn what it truly is. Note: candidates for the plane and what the fuck? Okay. Candidates for the plane and world of the organism's origin are discussed in my writings on the Silver Key, filed separately. I spent the whole day carrying books into its room. Apparently, the organism is no longer satisfied by the knowledge I am able to impart. It should come as no surprise, considering its linguistic prowess, but the speed at which it consumes text is astounding. The diary continues on for some time, chronicling the intimate relationship between Ogwai and the organism. In the back of her mind, Ryoko imagines the older doctor The old doctor, excuse me, climbing down the well in the middle of the night to hold a congress with some inhuman creature in that bizarre laboratory. The image is disturbingly similar to the nightmares that have shattered the silence of many nights with her screams. What follows, however, makes even her worst nightmares pale in comparison. Oh god, what? Before doing that, drinky! The organism has made a very strange request. This is the first time it has asked for anything other than food and reading materials. I can hardly believe it, but it wants to consume the sperm of living creatures. This is separate from its desire for food. Once again, it is describing this impulse as instinctive. Now that it has declared itself a life form that requires the seed of males, it has begun to identify itself as female. After today, I suppose I shall have to start calling the organism as she. Is the personality that she has begun to exhibit really just an imitation created for her amusement? Ever since she started to immerse herself in our literature, she has been acting astonishingly human. She identifies herself as female and already possesses the enormous store of cultural knowledge. Is she trying to create a human identity for herself based on these? I have seen her laugh, grow angry, and today she cried. Is she just copying our emotional displays? If not, then she is already... Is the soul something that any intelligent life form can acquire? I feel that I am witnessing something more mysterious than the genesis of life itself. Today is her birthday. Although it is a year late, I want to give her a special gift. Saya was the name of my mother's cat. Okay. Weird origin for this organism's name, but okay, whatever. In childhood, she was my sole friend and my beloved. I decided long ago that if I were ever blessed with children, I would give this name to my daughter. Happy birthday, Saya. Let this be the name of your soul. You have earned it. The ability that Saya had discovered in herself is showing more extraordinary results each day. I have no doubt that she is a kind of artist. What exactly is it that she created in her body from the rat semen I gave her? At this point, I can only surmise that it is a type of retrovirus, a reverse... How do you say this word? Transcriptase enzyme? That creates exactly what she desires. The rats that have been transformed by her art, okay, are so very beautiful now. The many enzymes secreted by her body and the various appendages she uses are discussed in detail in my biological observations. Filed separately, here I will say this. By witnessing Saya perform her operations on several rats, I have gained much confidence in my theory that her body is designed specifically to manipulate the biology of other organisms. Ryoko looks grimly at the still unsorted mountain of research notes. When she finally manages to separate those papers, she will probably find the many other files mentioned in the diary. Ogwai's biological observations, at the very least, she wants to look through those before facing the thing called Saya. Under no circumstances does she want to go into battle unprepared. She looks at her watch and sees that it's already 7 in the morning. Assuming Tono Koji made no stops, he should be arriving in Tokyo about now. Now that it's too late, she wishes she'd stopped that stubborn fool from leaving, even if she'd had to shoot him in the leg to do it. Holy fuck, that was quite a read. Oh my god! Anyways, continuing on. Koji pulls up 2 blocks away from the Sakisaka house and stares at the silent building. In the bright light of morning, the house seems shrouded in a dark miasma. Like a black hole torn out of the landscape, it is just a figment of Koji's imagination. Is it? Every window is closed, offering no glimpse of the inside. Koji has no way of knowing whether Fuminori is home. A pedestrian walks his dog down the street, glancing back at Koji through the windshield after he passes by. Koji isn't surprised by the attention. He hasn't bathed or changed clothes since spending the night buried in mud, so he must look like a vagrant. Okay, nice choice of words there. Even inside his car, he looked like a homeless bum. When he looks into the rearview mirror, he sees the haggard visage of a man with one foot in the grave staring back at him. It's hard to believe that the tired, unshaven face is really his. You guys don't know this because you can't see it, but my kitten, he's on my desk looking at the screen right in front of me, and it's getting hard to see words because he's in the way. Get the fuck out of here, you little mongrel. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. He moved. Good. If he stays here for too long, someone might report him to the police. He'd better pull himself together and get moving. He drives slowly up to the front of Fuminori's house, quickly checks to make sure no one is around, and gets out of the car. Anyone who might be in the house probably heard the sound of the engine, but there's no point in worrying about that now. They've already gone, right? They've already left. Koji walks swiftly through the gate and yard to the front door. He puts his hand on the doorknob, foregoing the bell. The time for such pleasantries has passed. The door is unlocked, and the knob turns easily in his hand. He puts his ear to the door and listens for any signs of life. He's acting like a thief. He realizes with some shame, but that is the least of his worries now. No sound from within. After checking the street again to make sure no one is looking, he quickly opens the door and disappears inside. An indescribable stink immediately assaults his nostrils. He is already prepared for anything, however, so rather than discourage him, the stench only sharpens his caution to a razor's edge. He has crossed this threshold many times in the past, and his memories of days spent here are all still bright. So why does he feel the same ominous, blood-chilling aura that permeated Ogwai's home and cabin? Anger and sorrow seize Koji's heart, as though a dear friend's grave has been defiled. Koji doesn't remove his shoes before entering. He knows why he's here, and it's not to be polite. Okay. That's an odd detail to claim there. Every storm shutter is closed, filling the house with gloom, and he can see nothing but pitch-black darkness through the open doors in the hallway. He should have brought his flashlight from the car, he thinks ruefully. Then remembers that he dropped the light when Fuminori attacked him. It's still lying in the backyard of the cabin in Tochigi. The house might be empty, then again it might not. Each particle of the air seems charged, with silent menace. Is his enemy lurking somewhere in the darkness? It's not hard to imagine Fuminori waiting for a chance to take him by surprise and finish what the well failed to do. Koji walks down the first floor hallway, then climbs the stairs and checks the second floor too. He moves slowly and carefully, keeping his senses sharp, but feels nothing watching him from the shadows. After completing his rounds safely, he is convinced that the house is empty. He suddenly realizes that his right hand is touching the cold steel of the gun in his pocket. Did he intend to draw the weapon upon encountering Fuminori. Now that Koji thinks about it, his own action seems mysterious to him. What is he planning to do when he meets Fuminori? Will he lay into him with curses and epithets? Will he force him to turn himself in? Or will he... Koji shakes his head. This isn't the time for such hopeless questions. If he keeps thinking, he'll stop moving. If he stops moving, fear will paralyze him forever. His only choice is to keep marching on. He has to close the distance to his prey. In any case, Fuminori isn't home. What form their reunion takes will probably be decided at the moment of their meeting. All Koji has to do is not hesitate when the time comes. Still, why does the whole house smell like stagnant water? It's been 3 months since Fuminori distanced himself from his friends. Just what kind of life has he been leading all this time? Koji enters the living room and feels along the wall for the light switch. The moment he flips it on, the answer to his question is revealed. What? How far has Fuminori gone? Koji realizes that this is the first time he has encountered Fuminori's insanity in visible form. From the dust piled in the corners of the room, it is clear that the paint was not applied recently. How many nights has Fuminori spent surrounded by this maddening array of color? Why, if such obvious signs were available, why didn't Koji realize that something was wrong before it got this bad? Was he deaf to the dying screams of Fuminori's insanity? Was their friendship really so worthless? As he stands petrified in the unfamiliar living room, Koji directs his anger entirely to himself. If he could, he would like nothing more than to apologize to Fuminori for failing, to help him through his suffering. Koji feels that he might have been able to save his friend. Perhaps he is arrogant to think so, but if so, it is arrogance born of kindness. Koji passes through the living room and opens the sliding door that leads to the kitchen. When he enters, he finds that the most disturbing of the house's many stenches is strongest here. Blood. The room is redolent with the smell of countless layers of blood grown stale over time. He peers into the well-used sink. Around the rim, he sees faint brownish-red blotches that water alone couldn't rinse off. Even more obvious are the stains on the dish rag. Such stains are proof that the rag has been used and reused countless times. But what could it have been used on to make it that sickening burgundy color? Koji stares at the refrigerator next to the counter as though it were the monster waiting to swallow him whole. He stands motionless until he is able to work up the courage simply to touch it. Because he already knows. He already knows what's inside of there. He's just afraid to open it and reveal the answer that he already knows what's in there. Then he steels himself, grabs the thick handle, and opens the door. First he'll check the freezer, then the refrigerator. The freezer is packed with frozen meat of varying shapes and sizes, as each piece is wrapped tightly and frosted over plastic. You can't tell what kind of meat it is. The meat in the refrigerator, however, has already been thawed for consumption. Okay, you didn't have to. You did not have to. God damn it. I'm not using that for thumbnail. I don't think I'm allowed to. That's a little bit much. Okay. For a while, he can only stare in disbelief at the 5 fingers beckoning to him from the back of the compartment. They are the long, slender fingers of a woman, their bluish tinge giving them the appearance of waxworks. What the fuck? Koji is unable to resemble, Koji is unable to remember what Omi's hands looked like, even though he has kissed her fingers countless times. When he finished crying after his conversation... What? When he finished crying after his conversation with Fuminori, Koji promised himself that he would not cry again. And in fact, he does not. That's weird. Alright. He regrets his decision, however. He indulged himself too early. He should have saved his soothing tears for this moment, for now he knows that truly nothing is sacred. At last, his doubts about Fuminori have been utterly obliterated. Koji pulls Ogwa's revolver out of his pocket and wraps his hands around its grip like he would like a charm. Its definite presence, its promise of merciful annihilation, is the only thing keeping his sanity intact. He will surely use it to kill Sakisaka. I'm sorry. Oh my god, why? The name, it just... Oof. Sakisaka. There we go. Fuminori. Not for revenge. Not for justice. But to make this world once more a place governed by reason. For that purpose alone, he must eliminate the anomaly. What is that game called? Where you search for anomalies? Observation duty or whatever? Yeah, for some reason that word had to be brought up and it just made me remember that game. I don't know why. Anyways. He breathes deep, exhales, then lifts his hand before his face and stares at his spread fingers. Alright. He's not shaking. He is prepared to face his new objective. Koji sticks the revolver back into his pocket and pulls out his phone. Oh shit. Okay, can I save? Yes, I can. It's time to choose. Why can't I? Wait, what? Why can't I? That's weird. What? Okay. I don't know. Oh, wait, what? I'm confused! Help! Alright. So it's time to choose. He calls Fuminori, or he calls Ryoko. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say the calling Fuminori is the second short ending there, the bad end. While calling Ryoko is the obvious choice, maybe, to continue the story. Because, like, he would want to meet up with her and figure out a plan on how to take him and Saya down, right? Which one should I choose? Which one should I choose? You know what? I think I'll leave that for next time! Haha! Alright. I'll save that choice for when I return in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Ha 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 ha! Okay, anyways. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. It looks like we are nearing the end. I don't know how long we are from there. It seems like if I do this correctly, we could probably see 2 more videos out of this visual novel. So that would be fantastic. But if we are near the end, like maybe 2 hours, then I'll turn it into just one little singular video, and yeah. So stick around for that. I hope you all enjoyed. But until next time, please As a reminder, stay sinful, folks. Bye-bye.